Thanks for the lunch break, Mom. It's been really delicious.
No problem, Timmy. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Okay, I'm ready to go in the pool.
No,
Bye,
you
Mom.
can't go swimming yet.
Why not? With my sunscreen, my towel, I'm all ready to go. What's stopping me?
Digestion. You have to digest before you go swimming or else you'll get a stomach ache.
Well, who cares about that? What's so important about your digestive system anyway?
Well, you know what, Timmy? I'm not really sure. So, Ella, what is the digestive system?
But the digestive system is a system in your body that works to break down food and nutrients, and it's made up of the gastrointestinal tract, also known as the GI tract, and it also includes the accessory organs of the liver, the pancreas, and the gallbladder. And the GI tract is basically just a series of hollow organs that include your mouth, the esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and the large intestine. And this also goes into the rectum and the anus. And it's also known as the alimentary canal.
Oh, yeah, I remember. And digestion is so important because it breaks down food into nutrients that your body uses for energy, growth, and cell repair. These nutrients then turn into carbohydrates, proteins, and fat for your body to use.
This helps important.
Exactly.
Very essential.
And this rids the body from any unnecessary materials.
And then digestion, so it begins in the mouth with the process of chewing and swallowing, and then it finishes up with the small intestine. Food travels through the gastrointestinal tract, and along the way it mixes with digestive juices, which work to break down the food.
These are very acidic juices, and that's why they break down food so easily.
And the place with the most digestive juices is the stomach. It's
Exactly.
a very acidic environment.
Right.
And then these smaller molecules are absorbed by the small intestine's walls and the bloodstream, and they are then delivered to the entire body. And the waste products leave the large intestine as a solid matter called stool.
The mouth is a vital part of the digestive system. It chews your food using saliva, and it breaks down starches that are found in your food. Another part of the digestive system that is essential is your esophagus. Your esophagus is used for swallowing. It doesn't include any digestive juices. It doesn't use anything to break down particles, and it doesn't break down any food particles either.
Another organ that is used in the digestive process would be the stomach. It's very acidic, as we mentioned, and then how the food enters it is through the sphincter, which it will relax to let the food enter, and then the lower muscle in the stomach helps to mix the food with the digestive juices, which are very acidic, and it helps to break down any protein that enters the stomach.
Exactly.
Another organ that is used in the digestive system would be the intestine, and this uses the movement of peristalsis, which is a wave-like movement that helps to move your food through the body, which creates a rippling effect in all of your cells' tissues. It uses the small intestine's digestive juice, which is also very acidic, and this helps to break down starches, proteins, and carbohydrates.
Another vital part of your digestive system is your pancreas. It doesn't actually move, however, it does have pancreatic juice, which is a very acidic juice, much like stomach acid, and it breaks down starches, fats, and proteins found in your body. And lastly, a very important part of your digestive system includes your liver. And your liver also does not move. It's similar to the pancreas. However, it does include very acidic bile, and it breaks down fats that are found in your food.
So the movement of food through the gastrointestinal tract is pretty complicated, but it all makes sense, and it's all interconnected, which helps to learn it. So food is moved through the stomach, through the organs that we before mentioned, and further going into that would be the esophagus. And this is a muscular tube that helps to carry food and liquids down from the oral cavity, the mouth, down into the stomach. And once the swallowing begins, the food is now under the control of the esophagus and the brain. So it's all kind of a mental process. As I mentioned before, the sphincter helps to let the food into the stomach, and it's a ring-like muscle that is kind of the halfway point between them. And this helps, as I mentioned, to control the passage of any food and liquid that wants to continue down the digestive tract. And then as food approaches the closed sphincter, the muscle relaxes and lets the food pass through to the stomach. And also, if the muscle does not relax for the food to go through, it's commonly known as acid reflux, and when you throw up, that's also when it might reopen, and then some materials from your stomach are regurgitated.
And also what to note is when you throw up and you get a burning sensation in your throat, this is due to your stomach acidity coming back into your throat, which is part of your acid reflux. The stomach is also a very important part of your digestive system. The stomach stores swallowed food and liquid. It mixes food and liquid with digestive juice it produces and slowly empties the contents into the small intestines. The muscle in the upper part of the stomach relaxes to accept swallowed materials from the esophagus. The muscle of the lower part of the stomach mixes food and liquid with digestive juices, which, like we said before, are very acidic, and this is used to break down all starches, protein, carbohydrates, and fat that you eat.
And then, as Lauren before mentioned, the stomach is very important, and it's a muscular-like sac that's located on the left side of your abdomen, and is approximately the size of 2 fists put together. Next is the small intestines, and this is also known as the duodenum. The muscles of the small intestine help to mix food with digestive juices from the pancreas, liver, and intestines, and to move the mixture forward to help with further digestion, and this is, as I mentioned before, peristalsis, which is a wave-like movement. The walls of the small intestine help to absorb all the digestive nutrients into the bloodstream, and this helps get the most out of your diet, and it's also segmented, which really helps to absorb the juices and to allow all the nutrients to enter the bloodstream.
And the small intestines is also 10 feet in length and 2 inches in diameter. The large intestine is also a very vital, important part of your digestive system, and the waste products of the large intestine include undigested parts of food and other cells from the GI tract lining. Muscles push these waste products into the large intestine. The large intestine absorbs water and any remaining nutrients and changes the waste from liquid into stool. The rectum stores the stool until it's pushed out of the body during bowel movements.
Exactly, and it's also about 5 feet long and 2.5 inches in diameter, and helps to break down the food and digest water, as Lauren said, but also uses symbiotic bacteria, which is found in almost all the organs in your body, and feces also exit the large intestines through the rectum and the anus.
Right.
Okay, and then along with these main organs of the digestive process, there's also accessory organs. These include your teeth, the tongue, the salivary glands, the liver, the pancreas, and the gallbladder.
Exactly. And your teeth being your first accessory organ, which are located in your mouth, they are used to chew up your food, and this begins your digestive process. They are made out of enamel and dentine, and this is a very important substance because it keeps your teeth really strong so that you can continue digestion every day.
Exactly. And also located in the mouth along with the teeth would be the tongue. It's a muscle-like organ that is located by the back of your mouth, and it's used to help position food and the bolus, and it pushes the food back into the esophagus, and it uses saliva from the salivary glands to help form the bolus.
Exactly, and salivary glands are actually our next accessory organ. Salivary glands are pretty much used to moisten up your food in order to make it pliable so that you can form a bolus in your mouth so that you continue digestion in your esophagus.
Exactly. And next comes the liver, which is one of the larger accessory organs. It weighs about 3 pounds, and it's the second largest organ in the entire body. It produces bile and helps to excrete it into the small intestine.
Right, and the next accessory organ is your gallbladder, and your gallbladder actually stores bile so that it can be used to break down food, and it can be used to digest subsequent meals, also known as your daily snacks.
Exactly. Next is the pancreas. It's about 6 inches long, and it secretes any digestive enzymes that were formed into the small intestine, and this helps to complete the final digestion of food.
The digestive system uses various juices, which are very acidic in the body, in order to break down material that we eat every day.
Exactly. One of the most important ones would be the salivary glands. These are accessory organs, and we have 3 of them in our mouths. They all produce saliva, which helps to moisten food and form a bolus, and they also break down starches in food, and it's used in the first step of the digestive process.
Exactly. Another very important breakdown of juice that we have in our body is our stomach glands, and these produce stomach and acid enzymes that break down proteins in our body, which are in foods that we eat.
Exactly. And next is the pancreas. And this helps to produce a digestive juice that contains enzymes that break down carbohydrates, fats, proteins, and in any food that we eat. And it helps to deliver other digestive juices to the small intestine through small tubes called ducts.
Also, the liver, which produces bile, which the gallbladder stores between meals. Bile is very acidic and can dissolve fats into watery contents of the intestine so that the intestinal and pancreatic enzymes can digest the fat molecules that we eat.
Exactly. And next and last is the small intestine, and this produces a digestive juice that combines with the pancreatic juice and the bile to complete the digestive process.
The digestive system is controlled by various parts of the body, including the hormone regulators, which stimulate production of digestive juices and regulate appetite. So it tells our body when we are hungry and when we are not.
And also the nerve regulators. And there's two kinds of these, the extrinsic, which are the outside ones, and these release chemicals throughout the body that cause the muscle layer of the gastrointestinal tract to either contract or relax. And then the intrinsic, which is the inside nerve regulators, help to release many different substances that speed up or delay the movement of food and the production of digestive juices throughout our body.
So there are 6 main steps of digestion, and the first step is your chewing, which includes your teeth and tongue, and your saliva, which all work together. They form a bolus, which can move down your throat, which is your esophagus, and start the process of digestion.
Exactly. So they move into the esophagus through the process of swallowing. This is when the food goes through the esophagus and moves down into the stomach using peristalsis.
After swallowing, you have your stomach digestion, and your stomach digestion is when your food enters through your sphincter or the muscle contractor in your stomach. The food is mixed with gastric acid and other stomach juices here, and it is emptied into the small intestines.
Following what Lauren said, there's 2 main types of digestion, mechanical and chemical. Mechanical is the physical breakdown of large pieces of food that you digest into smaller pieces, and this begins with the chewing of the food and is continued through the muscular lining of the stomach and the intestines. And bile is produced through this process, and especially in the liver. And this is also used to mechanically break fats into more basic properties. And that's the digestion process is just like that step is basically the entire process. It's very important.
Another type of digestion is also known as chemical digestion, as Ella mentioned earlier. This digestion begins in the mouth with the salivary analase, which splits carbohydrates into simpler forms, which makes it easier for the body to break down in later times during the digestive system. The acid in the stomach continues chemical digestion. However, most of the time, chemical digestion takes place in the small intestines. The pancreas, which secretes substances known as pancreatic juice. This is also a very important juice in chemical digestion. By the time that your food has left the duodenum, it has been reduced to fatty acids, amino acids, and monosaccharides and nucleotides.
Exactly. And then the next step would be small intestine digestion. And this uses the digestive juices that it produces to help separate the nutrients out of food. And this is done by the muscular contractions that help to keep the food moving towards the large intestine. So peristalsis helps with this, and then as I mentioned before, the segmentation in the small intestine really helps to process the food and to get all the nutrients into the bloodstream.
Exactly. The next step of your digestion is also known as absorption. Absorption contains fats and carbohydrates and proteins that are ready to absorb through the intestinal walls into the bloodstream for transport through the body. And by this is really a transportation device as well, as part of absorption is transportation, and this helps your body soak up vitamins and minerals that are essential for it to live on a daily basis. And this is how you get all of your vitamins, minerals, carbs, and fats.
Especially vitamins B and K, and it absorbs the vitamins before the feces leave the body. The final step of the digestive process is waste elimination, excretion, or defecation. This is when materials that were not absorbed or moved into the colon are finally removed from the body through bowel movements out of the anus. And if you're not able to complete a full bowel movement, that's also known as constipation, and your colon is blocked up, which prevents further healthy digestion.
And the reason that excretion is so important for your body is to make sure that the feces that you have inside of your body do not accumulate in your gut. This can be very dangerous, and as Ella said, it can lead to severe constipation.
Exactly.
So after all of this is done and your body has gone through digestion completely, it's ready to restart the entire process.
Exactly. And then you'll know when you're ready to start the process when you feel hungry again. And this is a result of the hormone and nerve regulators inside your body.
In the digestive system, the mechanical action of teeth grinds food down into smaller particles, and the chemical and wetting action of saliva begins the breakdown of starches into more digestible sugars. The food is pushed through the esophagus into the stomach, where gastric acids and muscular churning continue the chemical and mechanical digestion of proteins in the food. In the duodenum, food continues to be digested by the action of other pancreatic and bile secretions. The digested food is absorbed by the body as it passes through the small intestine and moves through the large intestine and rectum.
And then as you can see on your study guides, there is a map of the digestive system, which we hope clear up any more confusions that you have about this, and we hope that you learned a little bit more about the digestive system today.
Thank you.